Hey guys, me and my mate Matt are here. Well, Matt's not here personally, but he's on the phone with me on X. Say hello.
Hello.
He's very tired. I think he'll be going to sleep after we do this review of the documentary which watched. So tonight, shall I say, and we're going to review a few more documentaries over the next 2 days, ain't we, for the Wrestling Project channel. We're going to start, before I get into today's documentary, we're going to start The Dark Side of the Rings tomorrow. The first two episodes, which sound interesting, is the Randy Savage and Elizabeth episode. And the one after that is Montreal Screwjob. So you look forward to covering them tomorrow, Matt?
Could be interesting.
Yeah, I think it will be. And then you're going to get a bonus. I'll do it after Matt ends. He'd be too tired to do it after this one, won't you? I'm going to do a Randy Orton, Dark Side of Randy Orton video. So that sounds very interesting. He's a controversial character. I've heard a few backstage things he's done to people. So
yeah, I've heard a few in the back.
I have.
Old days, not this modern Randy Orton.
Yeah, in the old Randy Orton days, yeah. So yeah, you got some good content coming up. And we're also going to do a couple of wrestling movie reviews. Hopefully they're better than the Chokeslam movie. And we know, I think none of them will be as bad as the Charlie XCX movie, though, will it? He's yawned. But, so yeah, we'll get to this documentary now. So it's called The Women's Wrestling of WWE Documentary, The Dark Side of Women's Wrestling in WWE. So how the documentary starts off is, it starts off of women's wrestling in the beginning of the 80s with Fabulous Moolah and Rockin' Robin and some of the Wendy Richter. It started off with that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Where it starts off with the 80s kind of women wrestlers, and it also mentioned the woman referee Rita Chatterton, didn't it?
Oh
Yeah. So talking about her, there was an alleged sexual assault by Vince McMahon to her, and yeah, I believe it. I think it happened. And
I won't be surprised.
I wouldn't be either. He's paid quite a few women off, and it does say this in the documentary. He's paid quite a lot of women off, and probably more what we don't know about, I think. Also, he just seems the type of boss. You know, like you heard of the Weinstein, Hollywood accusations.
No.
Okay, I'll quickly go through it. I won't be long. So basically, Weinstein was getting people like actresses to do favors for him sexually. Say, for example, he'd get them to show him his legs or take their bra off, take their shirt off to show him their body parts. And then if they did that, then he'd give them a role for a movie because he couldn't put people in movies. So
one of them douchebags.
Yeah. So that's the example of what Vince McMahon is doing. Very similar to Weinstein, what I just told Matt. So it's very similar to that, where Vince would say, you know, you can get a pay rise. I've heard a story. We will keep talking about documentary, but I heard a story from Rene Dupree. Someone told him, and I think Charlie Haas told him, that he offered a woman, and it was Jackie Gaydar. He said to Jackie Gaydar, "Oh, do you want a rise?" And she said, "Yeah, how could I get a rise?" She said, and he said, "Do this to me, do that to me, touch him or do something to him." And then she'd get a pay rise. She refused, and literally, the week or two after she rejected his advances, guys, and Matt, he fired her and Charlie Haas. So yeah, it's bad, isn't it? It's really bad.
I've never heard that brought up, to be fair.
Yeah, but that's why she got fired from WWE, because she rejected his advances. She said no, and then he didn't give her the contract she wanted, and she got fired because of it. Yeah. But yeah, there's stories like what Weinstein do and what Vince do, and that's basically someone abusing their power, ain't it? It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's really wrong. And so it gets to that point. Then Rita Chatterton obviously leaves WWE after going through a traumatic experience like that. And even Bret Hart at first thought she was lying because he didn't think Vince would do something like that. Then when he heard all the other stories, he actually apologized to her. And he said, "I'm so sorry, I didn't believe you. I feel really bad now."
Did he do that?
Huh?
When did he do that?
No, he said it in an interview. He apologized to her.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He spoke to her on X and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't believe you. Now I've heard everything else. I believe you now. I don't think you're lying." So yeah, and then so then it gets to the point where they don't really do much women's wrestling for some time. In the late 90s to early 90s, until Medusa and Bull Nakano come into the
Women's
WWE.
wrestling wasn't a thing until Medusa and all that.
And Bull Nakano, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it was Alundra Blaze in the WWE.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm thinking of Medusa because she was in WCW.
So when she was Alundra Blaze,
Alundra
the
Bliss.
champion, that was basically the women's division. There's just a couple of women.
Yeah.
It all changed once she went to WCW.
Yeah, so she was in WWE for a couple of years. I think it was just her and Bull Nakano, maybe a couple of other women, but not many. I can't remember the other ones, to be honest.
I don't think they discussed many others, not that on documentary. I think that was the women's division.
Yeah, and then
it got scrapped.
Then obviously the famous segment of it showed also Alundra Blaze chucking the women's title into the bin, and this, what I've just spoke about, will relate to tomorrow's documentary. Me and you will speak about the Montreal Screwjob, in why Vince didn't want Bret to win that match against Shawn, because he didn't want the WWE title, WWF title at the time, being chucked in the bin, which is, I can see, yeah, you don't want your biggest asset. You're gone.
I know Bret promised he would never do that.
I don't think he would have, no. Eric,
and I know
Eric would have tried to get him to.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, he did with Medusa. She didn't want to do it.
I know Bret gave the idea that he didn't want to lose in Canada because Shawn was being a prick. So he said, let me drop it off on Raw. Let me lose it on Raw. You can take the championship. That could be my goodbye. I have no problem putting somebody over on Raw. Maybe The Undertaker or somebody.
Or Austin. He volunteered to let Austin take it off him. Because him and Austin worked really well together.
I think it was at that point.
Yeah. Well, he didn't want to drop it to Shawn, because apparently Shawn said to him backstage, when Bret said to him, "I'll be happy to put you over," and Shawn said, "Well, thanks, but I'm not going to put you over." And then that kind of rubbed him the wrong way. He didn't know. He didn't. He never did lose to. But oh yeah, he did. That was before they started beefing. He did beat. Bret did beat him in 1992, the Survivor Series match. But
there was another Survivor Series match?
Yeah, 1992. That was, but you know when Shawn Michaels was Intercontinental Champion?
Oh, different.
It was then. It was before they had before they had beef. They were all right then before they had beef. But anyway, so we get back to the documentary. So I'll just mention that bit because we'll be talking a bit about that for the Montreal Screwjob documentary. But anyway, so we're on the bit now where They then talk
Medusa
up.
dropped the title.
She drops the title. She leaves. They don't really have a women's division, but they have managers like Sunny, Sable, Jacqueline. Who's the one who was? She's decent looking at the time. Who was Austin's wife? Deborah. She was
There was
Deborah.
There was Deborah. There was Terry Reynolds.
Yeah, her as well.
There was Sunny, Sable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Jacqueline was really a manager, to be honest. She was more a wrestler.
But she was with certain stables, though.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
really, really controversial group, Pete.
And Tori.
DNS.
Not Tori Wilson, the other Tori. You know who I mean.
Yeah.
Who faced Sable at
DX
WrestleMania.
Tori.
Yeah. So, so they come along and, it's just basically just sex appeal, ain't it? They're not just tits and ass, yeah. And don't get me wrong, it's a shame what happened to Sunny recently with, killing the guy in the car crash, but she was, before all that shit happened with her life going out of control, she was a really good manager. She was like a top 5 to 10 manager ever. She
had so much charisma.
She was a really good manager for like the Legion of Doom. She managed another tag team with Bart Gunn and some other guy.
Oh, and the Guns, yeah.
Yeah. She was a great manager and she had a lot of charisma. So she had something to offer, I think. She had something to offer. I think she had more to offer than Sable. Sable was just literally just showed the big tits and that was it really. But
Sable, I know they tried to turn her into a wrestler a little bit.
She weren't good though, was she?
Championship.
Yeah.
But she was more about the sex appeal. She was more about the thrusting and that saying that she used to love. All the women want to be her, but all the men want to, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But she was more the hips and thighs and tits, which is degrading.
Don't get me wrong.
Out loud.
Don't get me wrong. Sunny did show a lot of sexuality as well, but I just think Sunny was a bit more charismatic than Sable.
And they hated each other personally.
Alright, who's your bigger fan of, Sable or Sunny?
I'll say Sunny was less arrogant. I think.
Yeah.
Sunny was more down to earth. I think Sable got too big for her boots. I could understand though, and because she did talk about it, suing the WWE, aka suing Vince McMahon for sexual harassment, because there's a lot of segments they made her do, like a brawling where her top came off and stuff.
Or with the face, with the handprint on her boob, yeah.
She did sue them, so I was actually very, very surprised that they brought Sunny back in 2003.
Sable, you mean? Not Sunny,
and
Sable.
To be honest,
you said
it
Sunny.
was the exact same role.
Yeah, Sable came back in 2003, Sunny didn't.
I said Sable.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. No, you said Sunny and I corrected you. I know you meant Sable, yeah. It's fine.
Sunny did come back for one episode of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
But that was a guest thing. But yeah, Sable did come back, mainly just to thrust, kiss Tori Wilson, kiss Vince McMahon a bunch of times, and then she was gone within the next year. I don't think she did anything to note.
But to be fair to them, both of them were very popular with the fan bases at the time. The fans did love both of them. Yeah.
To the horny teenager fan base, yes.
Yeah, they did, yeah. I heard Sunny was the most downloaded AOL woman in the world at that time. So a lot of people were high on her, yeah. I can see why. She was great looking then, wasn't she?
Person in the world.
Yeah, she was a great looking woman now. Not so much then, I mean. Not so much now, but then. She was stunning then, wasn't she?
She was an attractive person, yes.
Yeah. So then after they left in the late 90s, then we get to the point where Lita, Trish, Victoria, Gail Kim...
Wow.
Division kind of... Well, it gets to that division, don't it? That division of the women's...
In the Attitude Era, there was no Victoria or...
she came slowly.
Gail Kim was later on.
They came a bit after it. A year after it, yeah.
the Attitude Era, that was more Trish Stratus, Lita, Tori, then Tori Wilson later on, Stacy Keibler, Deborah, Jackie, eventually Jackie Gator and stuff like that. In the late 2000s, that's when Gail Kim and stuff. But for a long time in the Attitude Era, it was literally bra and panty matches, pillow fight matches,
bikini contests.
Matches. It was stupid.
Yeah.
The fact that I remember a women's match, and it actually came clearly, it was between Ivory and Deborah. And when Deborah got her kit taken off, Shawn Michaels awarded her with the Women's Championship just because she got her kit off. And that showed how little they thought of the women's division, to the point that you get half naked and you get the championship.
Yeah. Yeah, so it just talked about they had like short amount of time. It was just all about sexuality and just, yeah, it just was very downgrading, and especially the segment where the Vince made like Trish bark like a dog. That was disgusting. That was really downgrading to women. Like, yeah.
I am so surprised they got away with that. Bark like a dog, strip from me, get your kit off.
Yeah.
The fact that he made a woman literally go on her hands and feet and bark like a fucking dog was so degrading. And the annoying thing is, because the fans loved that shit, it was one of the most popular segments of the entire show.
Yeah.
And thinking about it now, it's just fucking degrading. And
it is. Yeah.
I've always been a huge Trish Stratus fan, but the fact that she actually did that, and a lot of the women had to do shit that they didn't want to do.
Yeah. Tori Wilson said, back in the day we enjoyed the bikini contests, but
we were teenagers then. We were young.
Yeah. But even she said she felt uncomfortable showing her body, like stripping to, like the one she did at Judgment Day. Don't get me wrong, she did look great, but the one where she's literally just holding a nipple with that little strap, that just showed pretty much her naked.
And
yeah.
I don't know if you heard the interview where she said that on a house show that she did basically that. She was basically crying in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. That's the thing. Fair play to Tori, though. She wanted to be a wrestler. She wanted to get good. She wanted to be women's champion. And I think maybe she should have been, you know. But there's certain wrestlers who won it who was worse than her. Yeah. But she did get all right. She weren't too bad. She needed more training. But that's the thing, though. Her and Ashley Mazzaro won, and it does get to Ashley Mazzaro. That's a sad story.
A personal one. That's bad.
But they both wanted to train and be wrestlers, but Stephanie and WWE didn't let them train properly, you know? You got to give them a good couple of months of good training to get decent.
But speaking of training, the fact that Finlay was given the Divas to train as a joke, because Victoria said that, and he busted their ass and he actually made them good, and then he got in trouble for them being better than the girls. They didn't say this in the documentary, but I saw an interview. Michelle McCool and Melina had a match at Night of Champions, and it was that good. It was better than the main event. They got fined a huge amount of money for being better than the main event. So when they did the match again the following year in a scramble match, it was awful.
Yeah, even Chris Jericho said about that match, well, if you don't want the girls punching good, then the men's got to up the game then. Pretty much.
Did you hear some of the women who were having matches on Raw and SmackDown, their punches were that good, they got told to literally go back to the ring that same match and without punches and kicks, and the fans would look confused.
Yeah,
so
I do, yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is, yeah. So then it gets to the point about the Ashley Mazzaro, but it also mentioned how she was sexually assaulted in Kuwait, I think
I think so.
Kuwait, by a doctor, and she reported it to WWE, someone in WWE. They told
Wasn't it
Vince, and then
someone
Vince.
pretending to be a doctor?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and then he assaulted her. But then she did tell someone. They told Vince, and because they've got a relationship with the army, Vince said, "I'm sorry that happened to you, but don't tell anyone else." So he
Do not
basically
go to the
talked her out.
authorities.
He talked her out of getting justice, and that's disgusting.
And what the annoying thing is, there was 3 people in that meeting with Ashley Mazzaro, because they talked about it in the documentary.
Yeah,
John Laurinaitis, Vince McMahon, and Stephanie McMahon. And I would have hoped Stephanie McMahon, as a woman, would have actually stuck up for Ashley Mazzaro, because getting assaulted in that way, you would have thought a woman would have understood what she's going through, but she didn't fight for her at all. And I don't know if you remember this, but a couple of weeks after this moment on SmackDown, Vince McMahon actually did a segment with her where he publicly made her cry just because he wanted to make her cry. I felt like she was getting punished for trying to stick up for herself. That's how I felt.
yeah. So the next bit of the documentary, when she left, I think in 2007. I think so. Yeah,
I do think you should talk about her unfortunate
suicide.
passing.
Yeah, I forgot to say that. Yeah, unfortunately, like around 15 years later, I think it was 2019, 2020, she committed suicide. So unfortunately, she's no longer alive. But
And they did notify that she did suffer with massive PTSD because of what happened to her that time. And I think because she couldn't get over it. And how could she go over something like that?
yeah,
and knowing that the people that you were meant to vouch for you and help you and be there for you didn't give a flying fuck. And then her documents came out from her legal team, her support team, what happened to her, and everything that WWE did. And I just want to say, the fact that they've never even acknowledged her passing, they've never even tributed it or mentioned it in any shape or form ever, is disgusting. And I do really feel bad for Ashley Mazzaro and her family, because that was disgusting.
Yeah, it was. It was really bad. But
we'll be right back. I need a quick wait, but I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll talk about the next thing.
And then I'll come back and tell me.
I'll say what I said. Yeah. So then the next bit really was they talked about the women's revolution, why they did the women's revolution. Basically, the Bellas, Paige, and Emma had a short match. They only got given like 2 minutes to work a match. So instead of trying to have a competitive match in 2 minutes, which is really hard to do, they then just did a squash match, a quick squash match. So, yeah. And then they had the 4-horse women revolution. And they started to make women's wrestling, booking it better, but it's still got some ways to go. It could still be more equal to the men. They could still get more airtime, and they could still have multiple like feuds instead of just a title match. So yeah, and then all I said is like then we get to the revolution. We get to like the women's revolution. Or it also said before that. No, it might have been with the Janelle Grant stuff. I'll mention it with the Janelle Grant stuff.
There's one thing I think is important, how they really disgraced, is what they did to Mickie James.
Yeah. Mickie James, when they called her Piggy James, they really downgraded her. Yeah.
When I can talk about it briefly if you want.
Only a bit, yeah. Because we've been 25 minutes. We've been doing this a long time.
Mickie James and John Cena was in a bad relationship. she was cheating on Kenny Dykstra. He was cheating on his wife, and they were together. But when they split up, John Cena made her go to SmackDown, and she was punished for almost half a year by the Lay Cool storyline, calling her Piggy James, talking about her weight, throwing cake in her face, ice cream in her face, jelly in her hair, literally degrading her for almost a year. And I know Lay Cool really didn't like that. Mickey James found really disrespected, and the worst of it, when Mickey James got released, they sent all her fucking belongings in a trash bag, a rubbish bag as we would call it over here. But the fact that they made one of the most decorated women's wrestlers in the world degraded by calling her Piggy James, and then they didn't have the common decency to fucking give her stuff in a respectable manner, they just shoved it in the trash bag. Disgraceful.
Yeah, and it's also disgraceful. A woman who was in like the same era as her, Lita, in her last match on Survivor Series, they made her out to be a slut, and just the way Crime Time came out and just disrespected her. Even though she was a heel, she should have gone out of there with a good elevation and a good bye to the fans, not being disrespected like that. That just showed how much Vince McMahon and WWE thought of Lita.
If it was simply Mickey James beats her and then Lita fights in the farewell and just disappears, that's fine. But the fact that Crime Time, and I don't actually believe it was her stuff, I would fucking hope not, but it was her underwear, women products, sex toys and all this stupid shit, and just giving it to the fans for money. It was so fucking degrading, and from someone who loved Lita, I was a massive fan of her.
I was a big fan of her.
Trish retired at Unforgiven, it was respectful, everyone was on their feet, everyone loved it. But when Lita retired against Mickey James at Survivor Series, it was the most degrading send-off ever.
It's a shame Lita didn't go to TNA. Because imagine if she would have had good matches with like Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, other people, Taylor Wilde. So it's a shame she never tried that. But anyway, we're near the end now. Let's get this done because we've gone nearly half an hour. So longer than I wanted to. As I said originally, 10-15 minutes. We doubled it. But we have had a lot of things to talk about though. But anyway, towards the end of the documentary, they talked about Vince McMahon's accusations from Janelle Grant and about him paying her. Him paying a woman wrestler. It's rumored to be who was the announcer in TNA? The one with the red hair. What was her name?
Christy Hemme, was it?
Yeah, it was allegedly her who he paid money to silence her for not talking about stuff what he did to her. So yeah, he's paid quite a few of. Another one what's rumored, Dawn Marie as well.
She got fucking degraded from the moment she
Dawn
got
Marie,
there, literally.
So it shows about all these payments that are going out to women to hush money, kind of, and also the money
weird.
He sent to what Janelle Grant put against him, and it talked about the accusations and that he's no longer controlling WWE now. It's under TKO. So yeah, that was the end of the documentary. It was interesting. They talked about different topics of the different eras of the women's wrestling in WWE. And like I said to Matt just before we started recording for this documentary review, women's wrestling's came a long way in it, Matt, from 2026 to, say, 2006 when we were teenagers. It came such a long way.
In WWE, the first bit was NXT under Triple H.
Yeah, and then the main roster with the 4 Horsewomen. And Paige and AJ.
The tag match between Paige, Emma, and the Bella Twins, they just went straight to the finish, and it's like, this is bullshit. So year after year, it finally got better. And now we're at a stage where women are main eventing WrestleMania. They've got all the same gimmick matches as the men do. But you can still tell, though, there's still way more men's matches than there are women's in
Yeah.
every company.
I also said that while you was at the toilet. I said, even though women's wrestling is better now, there's still room for improvement. Like, they could still have multiple non-title feuded matches and more time on TV, stuff like that. So yeah.
And there's companies like AEW, even though the company's so good, they still keep to mostly one women's matches, but rarely, like on a Collision,
On Dynamite,
they'll do a couple.
On Dynamite, it's one, but on Collision, they do 2 to 3 sometimes.
Because I think Dynamite's their big show. They don't think they care about Collision that much.
They don't care for Collision as much, no. But anyway, so we still do rate documentaries, don't we? So I'll rate it first out of 10, then you, yeah. So I enjoyed this. I thought it was a good documentary. I enjoyed it. I liked the different eras it talked about. It was interesting video. I'd recommend you to watch it. I'd give this out of 10 a 7. It was solid. I thought it was interesting. It talked about different eras of the WWE women's wrestling in the history of it. And yeah, you find out some interesting information about it. And I'm going to put the link in the description so you can watch it. What would you give it out of 10 then? I thought it was an interesting documentary.
Obviously, I got a little bit annoyed when they kept bleeping out different words.
Oh yeah, he did keep bleeping it out, the person who was talking in the documentary.
I can understand why, but it just got annoying.
It's for monetary reasons.
But yeah, I can understand the logic and understanding the reason, but you know, when it just irritates you a little bit. Just like.
It annoyed you more than me. I didn't really notice it much.
I think because they did it a lot, I noticed it. If they only did it like once or twice, it wouldn't have mattered, but they did it a lot. So I probably will give it like a 6, because that bleeping stuff was annoying me.
But it was interesting topics though, wasn't it? About all the different eras in WWE for women's wrestling, yeah.
It was really good, yeah.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of different situations that they didn't necessarily bring up, but I still remembered it anyway due to interviews and stuff. But yeah, I'll probably give it a 6.
A 6. I'll give it a 7. Would you say it was more interesting than the UK Deathmatch one? That was boring, wasn't it?
It was pretty lame, yes.
Yeah. But this was a good documentary. It was pretty good, interesting. It's called Wrestling Documentaries by Spot Fight. So I will put this in the description, guys. Watch it. It's very interesting, ain't it, Matt? Yeah. So, do you want to do the Randy Orton one with me?
Not tonight.
Go on. Why not? You want to?
Not tonight.
I knew it'd say no. I was just winding them up. All right. So I'm gonna do the Randy Orton one. Then I'm gonna watch Scream 4 and then review Scream 4 for yous. Need to get 5 and 6 done before Monday as well. I'll probably do them tomorrow before you come around. But anyway, thanks for watching. Go watch the documentary I've put in the description. And yeah, we're going to do some more documentaries tomorrow, aren't we, Matt? For the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably will watch the Randy Orton one, but just not tonight.
Come on. All right. Fair enough. I understand. Anyway, so I'll do the Orton one as a bonus video for you. So, all right. Thanks for watching. See you guys later then. Bye for now.